probably know my name, but you don't know what it feels like to stand barefoot in the arena, hear 50,000 Romans scream for your death, and realize you're suddenly the only one still standing. Now imagine this, a slave with nothing, becoming the man who made Rome tremble. Yeah, that was me. And here's how it really happened. I wasn't born with a sword in my hand. I was born in Thrace, a place Rome liked to visit with armies instead of tourists. I grew up hunting, training, learning the warrior's life, and Rome noticed. Rome always notices when you're young, strong, and able to kill someone efficiently. They recruited me into their auxiliary forces. I served, I fought, I bled beside men who barely saw me as human. And then one day, I decided I'd had enough. Rome didn't like that decision, so instead of sending me home, they sent me in chains. They marched me to Capua, to the Gladiator school of Lentulus Batiatus. Great man if you like people who feed you just enough to keep you alive for the next fight. The school was a prison with better lighting, stone walls, iron bars, endless drills, and the smell of sweat and blood that never really left your nose. But gladiators were a strange thing, both slaves and celebrities. People screamed your name, but those same people also wanted to watch you die. I survived dozens of training bouts, not because I was the strongest, but because I had a brain and refused to die for entertainment. And I wasn't the only one thinking that way. One night, word spread. Tomorrow, we run. About 70 of us agreed. Honestly, half of them thought it was suicide, and the other half thought it was suicide with better scenery. We planned to steal kitchen knives and break out. Yes, kitchen knives. That's how desperate we were. But before we could act, a group of guards discovered our plan. We didn't think, we reacted. We overpowered them, grabbed whatever weapons we could find, including spits, cleavers, and one guy even took a wooden bench. We stormed out of the school, and Capua woke up to 70 bloody, angry men sprinting through the streets. And somehow, we made it. We reached Mount Vesuvius, steep and rocky. Rome assumed we were trapped. They sent a praetor, Claudius Glaber, to deal with us. He camped right at the only path down, thinking he had us cornered. He should have looked up. We climbed down the cliffs using vines, silently, like wolves. Then we hit Glaber's camp at dawn. His soldiers never saw it coming. We took their weapons, armor, supplies. Suddenly, we weren't runaway slaves anymore. We were a real force, and people noticed. Slaves fled their masters and joined us. Shepherds, farm workers, miners. Thousands came because we offered something Rome never did: freedom. By then, Rome was annoyed. Annoying Rome is extremely dangerous. They don't do mild irritation. They do send two armies to crush you. And we defeated both, not because we were better equipped, but because we fought like men with nothing left to lose. Rome realized this wasn't a riot. This was a rebellion. At our height, we were nearly 70,000 strong, an army built from chains, anger, and hope. We raided supply lines, beat Roman legions, marched across Italy. Some wanted to cross the Alps and go home. Others wanted to burn Rome to the ground. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to die on Roman crosses, but I also wasn't ready to let the fight end. Our unity cracked, and Rome noticed. Eventually, they sent Crassus, a man who solved problems the same way he built wealth, ruthlessly. He drilled his soldiers harder, punished them harsher, and blocked our escape when we tried to reach Sicily. For the first time, we were surrounded. We fought anyway, and for a moment, I thought we could break through. The final battle was chaos. Dust, blood, screams, the kind of noise that follows you even after you die. I led the front line. I cut down every Roman who stood in my way. I was wounded, then wounded again, but I refused to retreat. No one knows exactly how I died. There was no heroic speech, no dramatic pose, just a man fighting until his body couldn't move anymore. But I didn't fall as a slave or a gladiator. I fell free, and Rome couldn't hide the truth. After the battle, Crassus crucified 6,000 of my men along the Appian Way. Rome called it a warning. History called it proof of what ordinary people can do when they refuse to kneel. They erased my body, but they couldn't erase my name. I never planned to become a legend. I only wanted a life not lived under someone else's boot. But once you stand up, really stand up, you inspire others to do the same. And that is why Rome feared me. Not because I was strong, but because I taught thousands that they were strong. And that's the story they never wanted you to hear.